Hi, everybody. Let me turn this down. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here at the First Alert Digital Desk.
Digital News Desk.
Yes,
Here we
Digital
go.
News Desk. So it is Friday. We have a lot to get to. We will talk about First Alert safety stuff, but we have some pretty exciting news to give you this morning. And if you were watching Action 2 News this morning, at the very end, we did a big announcement welcoming this guy right here, Emerson Lehmann. He is our new addition to Action 2 News this morning. And we just wanted to jump on here and give everybody a welcome, first of all, to you, and then just so people can get to know you a little bit.
Yes, excited.
Yeah.
And you said addition because
Yes.
nobody's leaving.
Right.
Everyone's still going to be here, just joining the already awesome team that's here, and just so excited, ready to get rolling on Monday.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. And yeah, good point, because a lot of people are asking, like, who's leaving? We just have more people, more awesome people on our team these days. So we'll be on Facebook here. I'm trying to get in so we could see some of your comments, because if you have any questions for
Send the
Emerson,
questions away. I'd
yeah,
love to see 'em.
he'd love to answer some of your questions. Okay, now we've got them here. There we go. And hopefully you can hear us all right. We'll turn everything up if you need to be able to hear us a little bit better. Okay, so let's kick things off by letting people know where you came from.
Yes.
Where were you working before here?
So I was working as an anchor and reporter at CBS 58 in Milwaukee, which is my home news market. So I'm
Yes.
from Kewaskum, which is on the border of Fond du Lac and Washington County, so about an hour and a half south of Green Bay. And yeah, I was working at CBS 58 for 2 years. Before then, I was at our partner station over in Wausau, WSAW. So
Yeah.
I am a Wisconsin guy through and through. I've been here my whole life, except for the 4 years that I went to college at Ball State University. So
Awesome.
came back to Wisconsin. Have loved being back home in the Badger State, and ready to kind of experience a new part of the state, because I haven't spent a lot of time
Yeah.
in northeastern Wisconsin.
We've
so
got a lot to offer.
tons to offer. Every day is
Yeah.
a new exploration. So yeah, just getting used to the surroundings and meeting some awesome people, and yeah, it's been
Yeah.
great so far.
Got a lot of people. Whenever we get a new person, everybody lets them know what there is to do around here. So
Yeah, send
there
the
is plenty to do.
recommendations. I'd love to
Yeah,
see 'em.
absolutely. So I want to get in here and maybe show off a little bit of about you. You
What
brought
we've
some
done in the past,
photos.
yes.
Let's see if I can get this working here. So I'm going to get this one up if it works. There it goes.
There's the family. Yeah,
That's your family?
That is. So
Aw.
my dad, my brother Ayrton in the middle there, my mom, and then my younger sister
Aw.
Madeline. She lives out in Las Vegas. My brother Ayrton is in Leadville, Colorado.
Yes.
He's a mountain man out there and loving the snow that they're getting. And then yeah, my mom and dad, they still live in Kewaskum, so they're very excited.
Awesome.
They get the Green Bay TV station, so they're so excited to be
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
tuning in. Yes, I'm sure they're watching right now.
And
So
we've
hello,
got,
mom and dad.
speaking of which, let's see if this one,
Yep.
we've got Mom.
We make it a tradition. We go to Lambeau. We've tried to go every year. The past 2 years we went,
Okay.
and both times that we've gone, the Packers have lost. So
Ooh.
we have yet to make our trip to Lambeau this year, and I'm kind of hesitant right now
Right.
because the Packs on a playoff push, hopefully,
Yeah.
don't want to spoil any of that. So we're kind of playing it by ear. Might have to change
Yeah.
it to a Brewer game or
That's
something.
a cool
this year, but
tradition, though, to have with Mom.
So much fun. Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
enjoyed driving up. I think I had to work the next morning too.
Oh,
so that was
geez.
that was a tough
Rough turnaround.
tough wake up, but yeah, tons of fun.
So I'm going to just pick a random one here.
Let's do it.
Let's look at the Emmy Award.
Here we
okay,
go,
so you're
yes.
kind of a big deal. Tell us about the award.
Yeah, in 2022, I had the awesome opportunity to share. I love feature reporting and
Yeah.
kind of showing the good going on in the communities, letting people know what's all happening there. And we got to speak with a teacher who is doing a really awesome read from home program during the
Okay.
pandemic. And she brought in DJs and different kinds of
Oh,
things.
wow.
And my photographer, Jerry Imig, and I, we put together a pretty cool story, if I do say so myself.
Aw.
And the Emmy judges thought so as well. So that was one
That's
of the
awesome.
coolest moments. So grateful for that. And, hopefully we can maybe bring some of those here to WBAY
Yeah,
as
well, that's why
That'd
we've
be
got
fantastic.
you. We're lucky to have you for sure. Let's go down. Do you want to pick one?
Take
We've got
take away.
Pickleball?
We
Let's
got
talk about pickleball.
Yes.
Okay, because that was one of the first things I learned about you. I was like,
am-
wait a second. I thought pickleball was an older person thing.
Not so much. I'm a big pickleball player. Really enjoy myself playing pickleball. It is not quite the as you mentioned, the old person sport that a lot of people think it is.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the younger generation into it to enjoy it, and
Yeah.
I started playing it during the pandemic. My friend and I just kind of continued and like playing in some tournaments. I've already met some pretty adamant pickleball players up here in the
Awesome.
Green Bay and Fox Valley area, so excited to continue playing with them. And there's a good chance, especially during the summer months, you'll find me on a pickleball court somewhere.
So you're not only a pickleball player, you are, well, this is when you were, what, little?
This was when I was probably 10 years old. Yeah, that was before my first go-kart race. So I, huge motorsports fan, woke up, or not woke up, I'm looking at some comments.
Yeah.
I grew up racing snowmobiles on the frozen lakes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then go-karts, and I eventually started
Cute.
racing cars when I was 14. So huge racing fan, still spend a lot of time at the racetracks.
Sure.
Haven't driven in a couple years, but yeah, just a ton of fun. Really enjoy racing and motorsports, and there's a lot of that going on up here in northeastern
Yeah.
Wisconsin. So excited to check out some of those local tracks and the local race fans and chat with them and
Awesome.
enjoy all that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to check out some of the comments.
Yes,
and if
let's
you're
see
just
some of the
tuning
questions we
in,
got.
I know the beginning was a little bumpy because we're just getting things kicked off, but this is Emerson Lehmann, new addition to Action 2 News this morning, and we're just checking out some of your comments. Meteorologist Steve Balon said, "Hi, this is Steve in Green Bay. Question for the new anchor, when is he going to teach me how to play pickleball?"
Steve, let me know when and where. We will get you out there. I've got plenty of spare
Yeah.
paddles too, so we can. I told you and Tammy too. We're gonna get you out on a court.
I'll try it.
The whole morning team's gonna be playing before we know it.
We'll
so
do it.
We'll get it rolling here.
And then thank you to Jolyn for tuning in and commenting. She says, "Good morning and welcome. You have joined an absolutely fantastic team."
So excited to be here.
Rob says, "Good morning. Did you see the beautiful sunrise?" We sure did. So happy to have you. Ice fishing. Have you ever ice fished?
I have ice fished. So my uncles are huge anglers.
Okay.
They love getting out on the lakes, and they would take me a lot when I was younger. So
Okay.
haven't been in a couple of years, but I'm going to be visiting them in a couple weekends. So I might
Awesome.
actually have to change that if the ice conditions are
Well, I
nice
was gonna
enough.
say,
Mother
you've-
Nature hasn't been cooperating very well right
You've
now.
at least done some of this. The snowmobiling
All
is what you
kinds of
mentioned,
snowmobiling.
right?
Yep. So this was when I was racing when I was much younger, but love to
Okay,
do
yeah.
some trail riding as well with my dad. My grandpa is 81, going to be 82 years old, and he still rides out on the trails
Aw,
too. So
very
fun to go
cute.
out and do that with them, and skiing and snowboarding during the winter months too. So you can't just sit inside.
No,
all winter, right?
absolutely
You got to get
not.
out and enjoy what Wisconsin has to offer.
Totally.
So yeah, definitely enjoy trying to be as active as I can when we're out there
Totally.
enjoying it.
So what are you looking forward to the most in being here, being a part of the team?
The team has been so welcoming, and I'm not just saying that because I'm standing next to
I'm
you
right
and
here.
we're talking to everybody, but just so welcoming. Everyone
Yeah.
here, you really feel like a family from the moment I walked in to kind of begin the hiring
Right.
process to officially being here, and it's just been so cool to meet everybody, and I know that the community is going to be just like that as
Yes,
well.
they are.
So getting out and about, trying out some of the different restaurants and parks and cool local attractions that we have to offer,
Yeah.
just to be able to experience that and to meet people. If you see us out and about, please say hello. I love meeting the community
Yeah.
and interacting like that.
Totally.
So
Well, I get out, into the community a lot, so
Yeah.
I'll make sure maybe we could do something together.
we're gonna
at some
have
point.
to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rely on your expertise for sure.
Yeah, 7 years here and people are still super welcoming. Let's see,
Fantastic.
Julie tells you, welcome aboard. Brenda says,
Appreciate
welcome
it.
to our fantastic team. Oh yeah, Rob says, have to go to the Shawano Speedway
We'll get out there,
racing
Rob.
season.
I'll be there.
So yeah, make sure you follow Emerson. How do they get a hold of you?
Yes.
What is the
make sure
your
to
Twitter
go to
handle, your Facebook handle?
Yeah, go to Facebook, Emerson Lehmann. The username I believe is eLehmann TV.
Yeah.
And that's the same username on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
So make sure to head over to Facebook, head to Twitter, Instagram, and send me an email as well if you got any story ideas, anything like that.
Yes.
eLehmann@WBAY.com. I'd love to hear from you. Any cool stories that you want shared, I'd love to try and get out and do that as well. So really excited for the
Awesome.
opportunity to join you and
Yeah.
the whole morning team. Everybody's so
Absolutely.
great, such a fun group, and I know it's going to be a really cool group to be a part of.
We're really excited, and so make sure you tune in Monday morning.
Monday
for
morning,
his big
bright and early.
debut. And so, just to transition here,
Yes,
you will
yes.
be learning the First Alert Safety Desk,
Learning
which is
from you.
something, which is something that I've been doing for the last couple of months here. So that's what we'll transition to, and then once Emerson is trained on that And maybe if I'm not doing it one day, you will be doing it. So
you deserve days
lots
off
to learn.
too,
Yeah,
right?
of course. I
You need a day
think
off every
so. Once in a while.
I'll be happy to fill in when that's the case. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Emerson.
Thank
Make
you.
sure
So
again
nice
that
to
you
meet
follow
everybody.
him, and we'll get kicked off with some safety stuff.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. All right. Again, that was Emerson Lehmann, our brand new anchor for Action 2 News this morning. I'm going to zoom in and change some of the look here a little bit so we can get in on some pretty important stories this morning that I wanted to get to, and just recapping some of the bigger stories that I followed and was doing on Action 2 News this morning for the First Alert Safety Desk. So the very first one that I wanted to talk about this morning here, and again, a little bit jarring, but we do want to talk about these stories because they are important. This is one that I did this morning here on Action 2 News this morning. This was about unintentional firearm deaths. So everything that I cover on Action 2 News this morning for the safety desk is on WBAY.com. Sometimes though, some of these stories just have so much more to them that we want to expand on them and do it here from the First Alert Digital Desk on Friday mornings. So let's talk about this one. This is, again, the unintentional firearm deaths. Researchers took data from 2003 through 2021, and most guns from the study that I was talking about this morning involving guns, most of those guns in the situations where a child was accidentally shot and killed, those were loaded and unlocked. So that was a big part of this. I'm going to update that there. Also, 2/3 of those incidents where a child was accidentally shot and killed, the shooter was playing with a gun or showing it to someone. I should mention, by the way, this is from the CDC. But health and safety officials, they say that this highlights the importance of properly storing firearms, both securing and properly storing those firearms. It is very important. So again, this is on WBAY.com. There is a safety desk tab at the very top. I want to show you where to find this stuff. I'm going to pull it up here. Just a moment so you know where to get it. Those are just the quick highlights of what we talked about this morning. But right here on WBAY.com, you could see where we have all of the different stories for Safety Desk. And you just click right here on Safety Desk at the very top. And then this one here that I was talking about this morning. Right here, CDC says most guns and accidents involving children were loaded and unlocked. And we always make sure to have the link to what I'm talking about, so you see it right there. And there's the report. It is from the CDC, like I said, and it talks about how researchers taking that data, they say about 86% of the shootings happen in a house or apartment, with 56% happening in the victim's own home. Again, this was from 2003 through 2021. It found that 1,262 unintentional firearm deaths of children were kids that were under 18. About a third of the victims were between the ages of 11 and 15. And some of these numbers are just really grim. 83% of those deaths were boys. Again, just to reiterate, health and safety officials saying that they highlight the importance of securing those firearms, properly storing those firearms as well. So you can click here and learn a little bit more on this study, because we make sure to always add that so you could take a look for yourself about these studies too. Okay, so we also want to talk about another story here, another big one that I covered over this week. Teen substance abuse is down, but we also were reporting that the overdose, those are up. So we had some positive news and not so great news when it came to that. So I will click and find that story for you. Right here, same place I just mentioned. So you click down, and this one was the Monitoring the Future. It's a national survey, and if you click in there, it gives all the information right here as well. And I'm going to find it so that we can chat about it as well here. So it just talks about how high school students are not turning to substances like alcohol, illegal drugs at the same rate that they were during the pandemic, or even actually before the pandemic. Unfortunately, like I said, there are two sides to this national survey, Monitoring the Future. The other side is overdose deaths among teens 15 through 19. Those have been rising. Researchers say that's largely due to illegal use of fentanyl. there's a lot of information to this. So the national survey included more than 22,000 teenagers. It was from 235 schools. There was even one in our region here. There were about, 8 in Wisconsin. Alcohol use overall went down this past year in 2023 compared to pre-pandemic numbers, but then that was the same thing for e-cigarettes, marijuana. For the first time, the survey did ask 12th graders about the use of Delta-8, which is a psychoactive substance. It's found in cannabis. In the plant itself, about 11% of 12th graders reported using Delta-8. Researchers say they were pretty surprised to see those numbers so high. They are also glad to see that the overall declines have happened, but that there is a lot more work to be done. I'm just going to check some of these Facebook comments. If you're just tuning in, we first of all said welcome to our very newest addition to Action 2 News this morning, Emerson Lehmann. And thank you so much for being so welcoming. I know he appreciates that. And again, if you want to follow him, he is tagged in one of my Facebook posts. And you can get to know him a little bit. Make sure you follow him, give him all the story ideas and all the love that we do have here in Northeast Wisconsin for our new friends. Thank you to Bruce for saying welcome to him, and Brenda and all of you for welcoming him aboard. We are very, very excited and lucky to have him with us. That covered the second story that I wanted to talk about when it comes to the First Alert Safety Desk, because again, Emerson will be filling in when I'm not able to. He will be doing some of the First Alert Digital Desk hits as well with you. Let's go back to talking about some of those stories here. Just wanted to make sure we welcome anybody that was just tuning in. So we talked about the teen substance abuse down. Another one that I wanted to talk about this morning is a study that lists red flags for abusive relationships. I thought that was another big one that came out this week, and it's right here on Action 2 News, well, WBAY.com. Let's click here. You go to Safety Desk. Not only do we put the story, the information, we put the link to all of those studies or any research that's tied to these stories that I do. And here's the one I just wanted to talk about right now. Study listing red flags for abusive relationships. So this one identifies 16 behaviors that can predict abuse. So you scroll down, where did this come from, you wonder. So let's check right here. Came from the Social Psychology and Personality Science Journal. This one was pretty interesting. A lot of, I guess, common sense things that we've heard in the past, but it does talk about those 16 behaviors, things that you might not necessarily think about. So here is the link. You just click on the link, Monitoring the Future. I will do the same. Not to mention the fact that, oh, there we go. It's actually in the Social Sciences. There you go, Social Psychological and Personality Science Journal. Sometimes I go through these studies, pick out the most important parts that I feel are important for you to know, but we document it all right here on WBAY.com. Just to reiterate, authors in this study talk about how important it is to identify those early signs, because most people are not as violent or even abusive immediately in those new relationships. So we do talk a lot about this on Action 2 News, because there are stories that we do, especially with some of the local organizations that help people in those situations, and they try very hard to make sure that we prevent. It's all about preventative measures. And so some of those red flags include arrogant, entitlement, creating an uncomfortable situation in public, resenting being questioned about how they treat you, things like that. So you can go ahead and click on the study itself. It's a very serious conversation. We are grateful to always have people in our community to chat with. We have the nonprofit End Domestic Abuse Wisconsin. They're a pretty good resource here in our area for anybody who needs support. We do have the link for that as well right on WBAY.com. So if you wanted to click on that. But if you are just tuning in, make sure you say good morning. Welcome Emerson to the team. Excited to have him. Talked about those 3 big stories from First Alert Safety Desk. And again, they're all on WBAY.com. And Mike, You talked about, let's see, a thesis in college about guns. Okay, accidental shootings have only increased in the past 41 years. Yeah, I actually did a study recently about that. So thank you for chiming in to all of you. And you can watch this. Actually, it's going to record and then play again online on Facebook as well. So make sure you tune in Monday morning for the addition of our new member, and then tune in to WBAY.com if you have any questions on those stories, and I can always answer those questions after this as well. Thank you so much for joining me and Emerson this morning from the First Alert Digital Desk. We will see you next time.